Hey, welcome to part 2 of 4 of hiring Filipino virtual assistants for mindset over skill set. Now, in the first episode, which was last week, we talked about the initial communication going back and forth from the ad online, the initial email communication, just to test the waters to see how fast they communicate, and answer a few things with 4 templated emails. We went over that. In today's episode, we are talking about the actual application process. Now, I need to inform you about something. When using this vetting and selection process, you can't just take the tips on the application because there is a sequence involved. You got to get all 4 parts of the sequence in order to have success. Now, getting back to the title, mindset over skill set, character over credentials. Now, what does that mean? It means that when you're hiring someone and you're at the application stage of the vetting process, you're digging deeper into mindset with the application. We use Wufoo for our online application. We were using a ClickFunnels online application form, but it was a little clunky in the and I found that the Wufoo online application system made by SurveyMonkey works better for applications with the data collection and handling and exporting and viewing and things of that nature. And it integrates into your ClickFunnels online form. If you're using a lead gen form like we do at DrDone, the Wufoo form integrates very well. And so the online application is paramount. It allows you to take them off-site, off of the source site. If you're using onlinejobs.ph, it allows you to take them off that site into your application form to gather additional data that you can automate through spreadsheets and your own hiring team. And in the application, we dig deeper. We have strategic questions that we ask, and we cross-check them. Because the next step, next week in part 3 of 4 of mindset over skill set, we look at the interview process. But today is the application. And when we get that application, before offering an interview, even if they booked the interview, we look at the application and we compare it to the initial email communication. And if there's an inconsistency, we cancel the interview if they already booked one, or because we do offer interviews with completed applications. But once we check to make sure that, you know, the money that they're asking for is the same in the application as it is in the initial communication. Make sure they don't have additional jobs that they want to keep, like they want to work 2 jobs at once. We don't allow that. So if they said they don't have other jobs in the initial communication, and in the online application they say, yes, I'm keeping my job, that's a red flag. So, and that's going to stop the process for that applicant right there. They're done. And when you have an abundance of applications on the front end, by doing your ad properly and getting the source of your applicants properly, you will have an abundance of applications. Bare minimum, you should have 25 applications when hiring a Filipino. That means you'll have probably about 200 applicants to get 25 applications. That's how it works out in part 2, because I mean the initial communication cuts out. That's the first cut right there in the part 1. And the part 2 is your second cut. The people that pass the application process go on to the interview. So the application is so important. It just gives you that extra tool to screen and to verify and to cross-check and to dig deeper in an organized fashion on what is important for the person you're hiring, because whatever you accept in your vetting and selection process, you have to tolerate after you hire them. And the application is the thing that we do with our application is we ask in the very beginning, we have 4 pages to it. And on the first page, very, very small commitment questions like first name, last name. We don't even make address mandatory. Email address is mandatory. Phone number is not mandatory. Just small commitments. Are you Filipino working in the Philippines? Yes or no? Very small commitments. As they move through the application, the online application, the micro commitments, which is each time you ask a question is a micro commitment. They commit. The more times you get them to click, the better chance you get of a completed lead or sale through these micro commitments, these little clicks. So we want to start off with small commitments, easy questions to answer, no long question answers till the end. So that is the application form, and that is how you handle it. So I look forward to taking you further on the tools that we're using in our vetting process. We are not getting into the details of each question on the application because that is our vetting process. That is the service that we're offering, either done for you or done with you to get certified for our vetting and hiring process. And I just want to show you that this is well thought out. If you already have a process, you can take some of these tips and apply them and actually get some success with that. So make sure you apply all the steps and not just part of them, because it is a sequence and it's all about the sequence. See you next week for part 3, which is our interview process.